ज्ञानातिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यं मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रियै। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So verse 10 and 11 today. Okay, let's start. So yesterday we studied about the glories of Radha Kund. That was verse number 9. And verse number 8 is the hierarchy. Mathura is higher than Vaikuntha, and higher than Mathura is the 12 forests of Vrindavan. Higher than 12 forests of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, and superior to Govardhan Hill is Radha Kund, which is at the foothill of Govardhan. Right? And then this was verse number 9, sorry. And verse number 8 was what the essence of all the scriptures is, how to remember and chant Krishna's glories 24 hours a day. And there were 4 things which Rupa Goswami Prabhupada is telling, that we can remember Krishna in his Nama, Rupa, Guna and Leela. And 9th was a hierarchy, so Prema Bhakti. Last 3 verses are dealing with Prema Bhakti. Today again we will deal with 10 and 11. Glories of Radharani and Radhakund continues. Okay, who would like to, I'll chant and then you can raise your hand who would like to chant. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim vayor jnaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti paramaha praimaika nishthas tathaha tebhyastaha pashupala pankaja dishastabhyo api saradhika prestha tadvad iyam tadiya sarashi tam nashrayet kaha kriti. Yes, Roja Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Karmibhyah parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayur jnaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti paramaha premaika nishtas tataha tebhyastah pashupala pankajad trisas tabhyo apisa radhika preshta tatvat iyam tadiya sarasitam nasrayet kahakriti.
Thank you. Okay, I'll read the translation. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the Shastras, it is said that of all types of fruitive workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, Gyanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. So if he is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Her Kunda, lake, is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radhakund and in a spiritual body surcharged with aesthetic devotional feelings, aprakrita bhava, render loving service to the divine couple Sri Radha Govinda, who perform their Ashtakaliya Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radhakund are the most fortunate people in the universe. So again, Rupa Goswami Prabhupada is glorifying Radharani and Radha Kund, and he's saying let's see how many things are happening. So there are so many fruity workers, but by virtue of the higher knowledge, one out of so many of fruity workers may be favored by Krishna. Now, one out of many people or fruity workers who are favored by Krishna by virtue of the higher knowledge, one may be practically liberated. And out of so many such liberated people, there could be one who may take to devotional service to Krishna. So devotional service to Krishna is a function of a liberated soul. It's not a bandhaji. What is it? There are two kinds of living entities, right? Eternally liberated and eternally conditioned. Nitya bandha and nitya bandha jeeves, and then another is liberated jeeves. So devotional service to Krishna is a function of a devotee who is already liberated. The Mayavad philosophy ends at liberation. Vaishnava philosophy begins from where they end, because they do not know that beyond liberation there is life. Okay, so out of so many liberated devotees who are doing devotional service to Krishna, one maybe one who has actually attained Prema. In Bhakti there are different stages. So one who has attained Prema is superior to so many liberated people who are doing devotional service to Krishna. And out of the topmost devotees who are doing devotional service to Krishna and have attained Prema, gopis are the best. And Radha Kund is very, very dear to the liberated devotees who are executing devotional service in Prema, because Radha Kund is very dear to Krishna. And why is Radha Kund dear to Krishna? Because Radharani is very dear to Krishna. Because she's a topmost devotee. She does nothing other than serving Krishna. 24 hours. Ashtakaliya Leela, the eightfold pastimes that are described that happen in Vrindavan, moment to moment to moment. Radharani is doing, Radharani is just executing, and her life is dedicated so she can serve Krishna. Nothing else. Aruna Mataji, you want to read the purport? Aruna Mataji, your hand is raised. Okay, Vibha, you can read.
Hare Krishna.
Hi, Krishna.
At the present moment, almost everyone is engaged in some kind of fruitive activity. Those who are desirous of gaining material profits by working are called karmis, or fruitive workers. All living entities within this material world have come under the spell of Maya. This is described in the Vishnu Purana 6.7.61. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetrajnakya Tadha Para Avidya Karma Samgnanya Tritiya Saktir Ishyati. Sages have divided the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead into three categories, namely the spiritual energy, material energy. The material energy is considered to be the third class of energy, Tritiya Shakti. Those living beings within the jurisdiction of the material energy sometimes engage themselves like dogs and hogs in working very hard simply for sense gratification. However, in this life or after executing pious activities, in the next life, some karmis have become strongly attracted to performing various kinds of
Your voice is going in and out, Vibha. Can you please check?
Clear now?
Yeah.
However, in this life or after executing pious activities, in the next life, some karmis become strongly attracted to performing various kinds of sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. Thus, on the strength of their pious merit, they are elevated to heavenly planets. Actually, those who perform sacrifices strictly according to Vedic injunctions are elevated to the moon and planets above the moon, as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 9.21. Shine Punaye Martya Lokam Vishanti. After exhausting the results of their so-called pious activities, they again return to the earth, which is called Martya Loka, the place of death. Although such persons may be elevated to the heavenly planets by their pious activities, and although they may enjoy life there for many thousands of years, but they nonetheless must return to this planet when the results of their pious activities are exhausted. This is the position of all karmis, including those who act piously and those who act impiously. On this planet, we find many businessmen, politicians, and others who are simply interested in material happiness. They attempt to earn money by all means, not considering whether such means are pious or impious. Such people are called karmis or gross materialists. Among the karmis are some vikarmis, people who act without the guidance of Vedic knowledge. Those who act on the basis of Vedic knowledge perform sacrifices for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu and to receive the benedictions from him. In this way, they are elevated to higher planetary systems. Such karmis are superior to the vikarmis, for they are faithful to the directions of the Vedas and are certainly dear to Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita 4.11, Krishna says, Ye yata mam prapadyante tam tataiva bhajami aham. In whatever way one surrenders unto me, I reward him accordingly. Krishna is so kind that he fulfills the desires of the karmis and jnanis, not to speak of the bhaktas. Although the karmis are sometimes elevated to higher planetary systems, as long as they remain attached to fruitive activities, they must accept new material bodies after death. If one acts piously, he can attain a new body among the demigods in the higher planetary system, or he may attain some other position in which he can enjoy a higher standard of material happiness. On the other hand, those who are engaged in impious activities are degraded and take birth as animals, trees, and plants. Thus, those fruitive actors who do not care for the Vedic directions, vikarmis, are not appreciated by the learned saintly persons, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.4. Ninam pramattha kurute vikarma yat indriya प्रीतया apnoti na sadhu manye yatad atmano yam asam api kleshada asadeha. Materialists who work hard like dogs and hogs simply for sense gratification are actually mad. They simply perform all kinds of abominable activities simply for sense gratification. Materialistic activities are not at all worthy of an intelligent man, for as a result of such activities one gets a material body which is full of misery. The purpose of human life is to get out of the threefold miserable conditions which are concomitant with material existence. Unfortunately, fruitive workers are mad to earn money and acquire temporary material comforts by all means. Therefore, they risk being degraded to lower species of life. Materialists foolishly make many plans to become happy in this material world. They do not stop to consider that they will live only for a certain number of years, out of which they must spend major portion acquiring money for sense gratification. Ultimately, such activities end in death. Materialists do not consider that after giving up the body, they may become embodied as lower animals, plants, or trees. Thus, all their activities simply defeat the purpose of life. Not only are they born ignorant, but they act on the platform of ignorance.
Thinking that they are getting material benefits in the shape of skyscraper buildings.
They are getting material benefits in the shape of skyscraper buildings, big cars, honorable positions.
Vibha, your voice is not coming. Skyscraper buildings, big cars, honorable positions, and so on. The materialists do not know that in the next life they will be degraded and all their activities simply serve as parabhava, their defeat. This is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, 5th verse. Parabhavas tavadabhodha jata. Okay, that's okay, Vibha. Thank you. Some problem was there. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada is starting the verse like they say that out of all type of fruity workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of higher values of life is favored by Supreme Lord Hari. So Prabhupada is giving general condition of a fruity worker of this material world. This material world is directed by mode of passion mostly, right? So the mentality is that work hard and earn hard and enjoy hard. But they don't know work hard, earn hard, and then go go to the hellish life very easily. They don't know that. So all living entities within this material world have come under the spell of Maya. There is no exception. Everyone. Okay, so Vishnu Puran is saying that there are three energies of Krishna: spiritual, marginal, and material. The material energy is third class, Titiya Shakti. Of course, Krishna's energy, first, second, third, is no difference because it's absolute. But just for the sake of description, the Acharyas have broken it down for us. And those who are living within the jurisdiction of material energy sometimes engage themselves like dogs and hogs. This is very prominent, not difficult to understand that in today's world, unless and until somebody is working minimum 12 hours, 13 hours a day, their job is not considered very proficient. 12, 13 hours a day. You see, and it is going to get even more worse as the Kali Yuga is going to progress. So, but people don't get tired of it. Prabhupada gives example that an old man just lived the whole life like this, working hard, trying to accumulate some wealth to run the family. And in that also there were so many problems. But they don't learn the lesson. The old man gives the same thing to their children, and their children give the same thing to their children. So this generational sin, it goes on. It goes on. Nobody even stops to think that why do I have to work so hard? And I don't want to, but I have to. But why? Why is this have to? Which force is forcing us? So very, very minute amount of materialistic worker, out of so many materialistic worker, one may want to elevate their position by doing the pious activities. But that is also imperfect. Why? Because the pious activity without Krishna in the center will definitely lead them to a higher planetary system where they can elevate their position. They don't have to work so hard. You know, demigods don't work so hard. They can have a beautiful body. They can enjoy for thousands of years, but then again come back after this kshineya punya martya lokam vishanti. After the results of so-called pious activities are exhausted, then they again come back to the material world and again accumulate the pious activities, again go up, again come down. So that is also not a very sharp intelligence according to this verse. The very sharp intelligence is not to just first is dharma. First, everything begins with dharma, like religion. Then dharma, then artha. After religion, one can have an economic development. Without religion, there is no economic development. Okay, then dharma, artha, kama. Then okay, I have accumulated so many goods. Now let me enjoy my life. Then when somebody gets tired of this enjoyment and seeks out something higher, then they go to the stage of, at the most, stage of moksha. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Moksha is also not attained by so many people. But generally people are doing dharma, artha, kama, dharma, artha, kama, dharma, artha, kama. You know, all the schools, all the colleges, all the universities, all the big palatial buildings which are coming up are only based on this. Work hard, earn hard, enjoy hard. Work hard, enjoy hard, earn hard. All this cycle is continuing. Somebody becomes tired. That why do I have to work so hard? Like, is there not a better life? Now amongst those karmis, some become vikarmi. By some way or the other, just earn money. Doesn't matter whether it's a proper way or whether it's an improper way. Just do it because money is sweeter than honey. And if I don't have money, then the conviction is then I cannot run my life. Actually, that means that this particular person has no faith in Krishna. The faith is lacking because their faith is more on the money, right? It's a very high level. We are not on that level. I'm not saying that we should start imitating and leave our jobs, but just think, the devotees who have given up everything to serve Krishna, who have given up everything to serve Krishna, are maintained by Krishna. You go to the temple, live with the devotees, and look at their lifestyle. They're not working so hard, they're just serving Krishna according to the direction of the acharyas, and Krishna is maintaining them. Krishna is making sure that they're protected. Uh, but most of the people don't have faith. They don't have faith. That's why they do one job, then they have a second job, and then they have a third job, and then they have big houses to run, and the houses usually is empty, or there is a pet inside, and they are running here and there all day to work. And then such a big building is constructed, which they call as house, but they are not there. Dog is there, or cat is there, or some pet is there. And sometimes, in the night they come back. When they come back, okay, they just sleep and then get up again, go out. But they constructed, there's a conception that I have such a big house. It's a conception only. Maya plays like this. Where if you have such a big house, you should be able to stay inside. But that time is not there. That is not there. You should just build a house and just run out to work. Most of the time is spent in the buildings, not in the house. But Rishabh Dev is instructing his 100 sons, Nunam Pramate Kurute Vikarma, Yat Indriya Pritaya Apanoti, Nasadu Manya Yat Atmano Ayam, Asan Api Kleshad Ashadeha. You have already achieved a material body which is full of miseries. Now don't do anything else that will lead to another miserable body. Demigod body, or a hellish body, or human body, or animal body, or plant body is actually built of miseries. 6th canto Srimad Bhagavatam describes animal body means fear. Okay, it's just fear. We think that animals are so cute, animals have so much independence, animals are not going to school, animals are so maintained by nature. But actually Bhagavatam says their life is nothing but fear. They're fearful all the time that I may not die, I may not die, I may not die. And human body is also full of miseries, because then there are so many senses which are active. All 5 are active, looking for sense objects. One has to become disgusted with the present situation that one is in. Then only we can inquire about Brahman. If one is very comfortable with their life and think that this is all in all, then Krishna remains hidden, because that's what they want. So Prabhupada is very strongly beginning the instruction that one has to really become disgusted. Nunam pramate kurute vikarma. Already I have done something, that I have achieved a human, this body. It's a human man body, female body, child body, this body, that body is actually a dress. Okay, it's a very strong verse, but we are towards the end of Nectar of Instruction. Rupa Goswami Prabhupada is not going to give any small instructions, and the verdict of 9th, 10th and 11th verses is to establish Prema Bhakti. Give up everything else, work on Prema Bhakti. That doesn't mean that one should not work. We have to act according to our elevation. Krishna consciousness is a very personal subject matter. I cannot copy someone else. I cannot copy Srila Prabhupada and act like him. I won't be able to sustain myself. So if I am not at the level of 100% conviction that Krishna consciousness is all in all, then I have to inquire what can I do at my level. I am still attached to my family, work, and this, but I am also getting interested in Krishna consciousness. How can I balance two things out? Two things out. Okay. Okay, Duty Mataji, you can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
One should therefore Be eager to understand the science of the soul, Atma Tattva. Unless one comes to the platform of Atma Tattva, by which one understands that the soul and not the body is oneself, one remains on the platform of ignorance.
Hmm.
Out of thousands and even millions of ignorant people who are wasting their time simply gratifying their senses, one may come to the platform of knowledge and understand higher values of life. Such a person is called a Jnani. Mataji, is it Jnani or Janani?
Gyani.
Jnani. Okay. The Jnani knows that fruitive activities will blind him to material
Gyani.
existence. Sorry, Mataji. And cause him to transmigrate from one kind of body to another, as indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam by the term Sharira, Sharira Bandha, bound to bodily existence. As long as one maintains any conception of sense enjoyment, his mind will be absorbed in karma, fruitive activity, and this will oblige him to transmigrate from one body to another. Thus, a jnani is considered superior to a karmi because he at least refrains from the blind activities of sense enjoyment. This is the verdict of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, although a jnani may be liberated from the ignorance of the karmis, unless he comes to the platform of devotional service, he is still considered to be in ignorance, avidya. Although one may be accepted as a jnani or one advanced in knowledge, his knowledge is considered impure because he has no information of devotional service and thus neglects the direct worship of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When a jnani takes to devotional service, he rapidly becomes superior to an ordinary jnani. Such an advanced person is described as Jnana Vimukta Bhakti Parama. How a Jnani takes to devotional service is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, wherein Krishna says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadayate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Actually, a person is wise when he surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna, but such a Mahatma, great soul, is very rare. After taking to devotional service under the regulative principles, a person may come to the platform of spontaneous love of Godhead, following in the footsteps of great devotees like Narada and Sanaka and Sanatana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then recognizes him to be superior. The devotees who have developed love of Godhead are certainly in an exalted position.
Okay. Thank you,
Of
Mataji.
all, thank you,
Thank you.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So nicely read. Thank you. So, after giving a glimpse of a karmi and then also giving a glimpse of a vikarmi, Prabhupada is now uplifting the puppet to take us to Jnani. Somebody who gets tired may cultivate some knowledge, but that knowledge, if it is not culminating at the devotional service to Krishna, is also incomplete. So the Jnanis are also in ignorance, because the ignorance will only be dissipated when Krishna manifests himself, and Krishna will only manifest when somebody is sincere. Then the Chaitya Guru, the Paramatma in the heart, will give the benediction that yes, now you are ready to understand what is Atma Tattva. So Jnanis are mostly trying to nullify because they are usually tired of their uh, cycle of karma or karmis, activity of karmis, fruitive activities. But they are just trying to nullify. No, this is not superior. The you don't have to work so hard. Krishna is maintaining everyone. Just try to meet the need. All these words that we hear, just try to meet the needs of the body and not the wants. Ultimately, we are all going to die. This is knowledge. Ultimately, we are going to die. So after death, we don't need all these assets. So why are you not preparing for death? But there is no information about Krishna. That is why that is also incomplete. This knowledge is also incomplete. It's not false. It's not as bad as karmic activity where there is no Krishna at all. But it's also not a celebrated thing. So how does a jnani come to the platform of bhakti? How does he come? 7th canto, 19th chapter explains, after many, many births and deaths, one who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. Knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. So pure devotee of Krishna is very, very rare. It's very rare. There's so many karmis, and out of so many karmis, some become jnani. There's so many jnanis then. But out of so many jnanis, one may be a pure devotee of Krishna. It's celebrated. If we come in touch with the pure devotee of Krishna in our lifespan, then we should consider ourselves very fortunate. Like Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee. So if we all agree and abide to the rules given by Srila Prabhupada, we are fortunate. Or any other bona fide acharya, then we are fortunate. That is called fortune. Not that what is my net worth, or what is my salary, or what kind of house I live in, or what kind of a car I'm driving, what country am I living in, what kind of educational degree. These questions people are asking. That is not the sign of anyone's fortune. Somebody has to work to maintain the body. They are working little harder, and Krishna has given them the facility to earn little more money. What is so glorious about it? Like, what's so glorious about it? There's nothing glorious about it. Krishna consciousness opens our eyes. We get very, very bewildered by looking at high educational degree of a human being, or looking at their material assets, or looking at their lifestyle. But we never get bewildered if they're worshipping Krishna. How come? How come? At the end, Prabhupada was giving class in New Vrindavan. He was opening. It was a inauguration lecture of New Vrindavan. He was very happy. I love this lecture. It's first canto, 5th chapter, 18th verse. You can hear this lecture. New Vrindavan, 1972. And Prabhupada was explaining that Maya bewilders, Vashikriyate. No, Krishna bewilder is called Vashikriyate, but Maya bewilderment, what happens? That a person wants to eat and drink, but they want to do it very gloriously. But at the end, they will not eat more than 4 chapatis, or will not lie down on more than 6 feet bed. So for doing it so gloriously, so much time is wasted. So much. Let's one devotee gave example that I'm drinking water from this steel glass, right? Somebody will drink it from a glass cup, somebody will drink it from the plastic cup, somebody will drink it from the silver cup, somebody will drink it from the gold cup. But the taste of water is not changed. They're not going to eat this glass. The most important thing is the water. But we become very, very enamored as to how this is soft. And our human form of life is like just bahirartha, just trying to accumulate external. This is a very, very, this verse is the heart of Krishna consciousness. So the real person, the real jnani, after many births and deaths, will try to come to the devotional service to Krishna. And how do they come? They follow the regulative principle. Sadhana bhakti is very important. We cannot just come to the ragatmika bhakti. We are still at the jnani level at that time. Okay, if somebody is concocting their way of doing devotional service because they think that Krishna is in my heart, so Krishna is my personal friend, so I can myself manufacture how I can go to Krishna. Why should I have to chant 16 rounds? I'm going to just chant. Unlimited number of rounds. I will not count. That is not regulated principle. That person is not surrendered. That person is still going through this. Person is in knowledge, definitely better than karmis, at least takes up the chanting of the Mahamantra, it's not easy. It's not easy, and it's a big fortune for a living entity whoever is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But if it is still not chanted in the regulative way under the direction of a bona fide acharya, it is still not on the level of sadhana bhakti. So that person will still have to go through many, many lives and births again to come to the level of following the regulative principle, and following the regulative principle. One comes to the level of raganuga bhakti, where it becomes a spontaneous function. All these devotees are following. Narad Muni followed. Sanaka and Sanatana, these brothers, the four Kumaras, they followed. Why are they following? They are really in Raganuga Bhakti platform. Narad Muni is a pure devotee. Why did he follow? What was the need for him to follow the regulative principle? We must contemplate. These secrets are only revealed in the association of the devotees. Otherwise, we'll just do mental speculation. That's what we have been doing. So many lifetimes, we have been making our plans in the mind and transmigrating and making our life work according to my own mind. Stop it now. Take to the regulation, discipline. Otherwise, the person is affected, not nobody else. And if somebody has so much of an audacity to take a chance of being affected, fine. But the Shastras, the Acharyas, Krishna himself is saying loud and clear, follow. Take to the regulative principle. Then only, that is the only way to attain Krishna is through the mercy of a pure devotee, or association of devotees, or mercy of Krishna. So it's a very, very deep topic. This why Narad Muni became Narad Muni by listening to the pure devotees in his last life. He remembers how he became Narad Muni. Right? Why was he listening to the pure devotees? He could have just concocted, Krishna is like this, I am like this, and I can chant any mantra and I will become Krishna conscious. Why was he saying Sayam Pratah 2 times a day? Why didn't he say all the time? Why specifically 2 times? Because that's a regulation. But people are so proud. It's actually an element of proud. In fact, this proud is coming from element of false ego. And this false ego is coming from the element of avidya, ignorance. But the person thinks that I am correct. Well, because they're still listening to their mind. They're fine. But let's not get succumbed. There will always be people who will not follow. But why am I becoming like that? Prabhupada is giving guarantee. You follow, I'm going to take you to Goloka Vrindavan. But the people will say, no, why? Why should I follow? I'm just going to concoct my own way of worshipping Krishna. Well, that is why we haven't gone back. Okay. If somebody has to go to another country, there's so many regulations, right? They have to go through immigration department. You have to fulfill some requirements. You have to prove that when you come to that country, you're not going to be a terrorist. So many regulations have to be followed. You think going to Krishna, no regulations? No regulations. We are born in Ragatmika Bhakti. No, we are not. Okay, so who wants? Reshma Mataji, you want to chant?
Krishna Mataji.
Mataji. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, I'll read of all these devotees.
Yes. Thank you.
Of all these devotees, the gopis are recognized as superior because they do not know anything other than satisfying Krishna. Nor do the gopis expect any return from Krishna. Indeed, sometimes Krishna puts them into extreme suffering by separating himself from them. Nonetheless, they cannot forget Krishna. When Krishna left Vrindavana for Mathura, the gopis became most dejected and spent the rest of their lives simply crying in separation from Krishna. This means that in one sense, they were never actually separated from Krishna. There is no difference between thinking of Krishna and associating with him. Rather, Vipralamba Seva, thinking of Krishna in separation, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, is far better than serving Krishna directly. Thus, of all the devotees who have developed unalloyed devotional love for Krishna, the gopis are most exalted. and out of all these exalted gopis, Srimati Radharani is the highest. No one can excel the devotional service of Srimati Radharani. Indeed, even Krishna cannot understand the attitude of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he took her position and appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just to understand her transcendental feelings. In this way, Srila Rupa Goswami gradually concludes that Srimati Radharani is the most exalted devotee of Krishna and that her kunda, lake, Sri Radha Kunda, is the most exalted place. This is verified in a quotation from Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Uttarakhanda 45, as quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. यथा राधा प्रिया विष्णुस् तस्या कुंडं प्रियं तथा सर्वगोपीषु सैविका विष्णोर अत्यंत वल्लभा. Just as Srimati Radharani is dear to Supreme Lord Krishna, Vishnu, so her bathing place, Radha Kunda, is equally dear to Krishna. Among all the gopis, she alone stands supreme as the Lord's most beloved. Therefore, everyone interested in Krishna consciousness should ultimately take shelter of Radha Kunda and execute devotional service there throughout one's life. This is the conclusion of Rupa Goswami in the 10th verse of Upadesh Amrita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So please have a desire to go and visit Radhakund and pay obeisances in your lifetime. At least have a desire. Then Radharani will allow. We cannot just go to Vrindavan just by wanting to go. Radharani has to allow. Okay, so that is the verdict of this instruction given by Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. At first, he's condemning the fruity workers, and better than fruity workers are jnanis, but better than jnanis are the people who are engaged in devotional service. But better than people who are engaged in devotional service are the people who are engaged in Prema Bhakti. And the most exalted example of devotees who are engaged in Prema Bhakti to Krishna are the gopis. Krishna is their life and soul. When Krishna was leaving for Mathura, it is described in first canto Bhagavatam, the 10th canto Bhagavatam, I'm sorry, that that they were just crying. They're just crying. I mean, how many of us are crying because I was unable to chant Hare Krishna today? We can't copy. And we should not even, Sahajiya Bhaktas who come to public and directly go to the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Come and hear Bhagavad Saptah and listen to what? 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of gopis and Krishna. That Prabhupada is condemned so much. Vyasdev says that before we come to the 10th canto, we must study first 9 cantos. We cannot just directly come to the 10th canto and understand the Ashtakaliya Leela and try to imitate and try to dance with the young women of the society in the name of Krishna. That's an abominable life. Very, very abominable. Cheaters and cheated. People go to those people. That is why these kind of people are flourishing. So we are responsible for upadharma that is going on in the society. We are responsible. Why? Because we are ourselves seeking such people. We stop seeking, then they will not be there. Okay, let's do the last verse and I can give summary of 9, 10 and 11. So I will chant and then you can raise your hand if somebody would like to chant. Krishna sayoche pranaya vashati preyasibhyo api radha kundam chashya munibhir abhitas tadrig eva vyadhi yat preshtherapi alam asulabham kim punar bhakti bhajam tat premidam sakrit api sarah shnantur avishkaroti. Who wants to chant? Sakshi Mataji. Yes, Madhuri Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Shocha Pranaya Vasisti Preyastabhyo Apiradha Kundam Chascha Munibhira Abhitasat Tadraga Eva Vyadhaya Yatta Pretastaira Api Alam Ashulabhama Kima Punara Bhakti Bhajam Tata Premedama Sakruda Api Sarahas Natura Avikshkaroti. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Vidisha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hi Krishna.
Krishna pranaya vasati preyashibhyo pi radha kundam chasya munibhir abhitash tagre eva vyadhai yat preshter api alam asulabham kim punar bhakti bhajam tat premidam shakrit api sara snatur abhishkaroti.
Very
Hare
nice. Thank
Krishna.
you, Krishna. Reshma Mataji, very quick.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
कृष्णस्य जय प्रणया वसति प्रियसीभ्यो अपि राधा कुण्डं चास्या मुनिभिरभितस्तद्रग एवाव्याध्यायी यत्प्रेष्ठैरपि असुलाभं किं पुनर्भक्तिभाजां तत्प्रेमिदां सकृत् अपि सरः स्नातुरविष्करोति. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Roja Mataji.
Hare Krishna. कृष्णा यशोचः प्रणया वसतिः प्रेयसीभ्यो अपि राधा कुण्डं चष्य मुनिभिरभितस्तादृग् एव व्याध्याये यत्प्रेष्ठैरपि अलम् असुलभं किं पुनर्भक्तिभाजम् तत्प्रेमेदां सकृद् अपि सरः स्नातुः अविष्करोति.
Thank you, Mataji. Madhurani Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
कृष्णस्योच्चैः प्रणयवसतिः प्रेयसीभ्योऽपि राधा कुण्डं चास्या मुनिभिरभितस्तादृग्वेगव्यधायि यत्प्रतिष्ठैरप्यलमसुलभं किं पुनर्भक्तिभाजां तत्प्रमेदं सकृतिदपि सरः स्नातुराविष्करोति.
Thank you very much. Dr. Indira.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Krishna.
कृष्णा शोचा प्रणया वसति प्रेष्योभ्योऽपि राधा कुण्डं चास्या मुनिभिरभितास्तदृग् एव व्याधि यत्प्रेष्टारपि आलम् असुलभं किं पुनर्भक्तिभजां तत् प्रेमिदं सकृद् अपि सराः स्नादुर आविष्करोति. हरे
Thank you very much. Rohit Nayyar Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण
Krishna.
कृष्णा योचे प्रणय वसति प्रेयसीभ्यो अपि राधा कुन्दं चस्य मुनभिरभितस्तादृक् एव व्यदहि यत्प्रेष्ठैरपि अल्पम् असुलभं किं पुनर्भक्तिभाजं तत्प्रेमेदं साकृत् अपि सरा सनतुरविष्करोति.
Thank you very much. Yes, Vibha.
कृष्णा शोचे प्रणया वसति प्रेयसीभ्योऽपि राधा कुण्डं चास्य मुनिभिरभितस्तत्कर एव व्याधयि यत्प्रेष्ठैरपि अलम् असुलभं किं पुनर्भक्तिभजं तत्प्रेमदम् सकृत् अपि सरत् स्नातुरविष्करोति.
Thank you very much. Okay, who would like to read? Sakshi Mataji. Would you like to read?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Of the many objects of favored delight and of all the lovable damsels of Vrishbhumi, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most treasured object of Krishna's love, and in every respect, a divine kunda is described by great sages as similarly dear to him. Undoubtedly, Radhakunda is very rarely attained even by the great devotees. Therefore, it is even more difficult for ordinary devotees to attain. If one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused.
Very nice.
Why Why is Radhakunda so exalted? The lake is so exalted because it belongs to Srimati Radharani, who is the most beloved object of Shri Krishna. Amongst all the gopis, she is the most beloved. Similarly, her lake Sri Radhakunda is also described by great sages as the lake that is as dear to Krishna as Radha herself. Indeed, Krishna's love for Radhakunda and Srimati Radharani is the same in all respects. Radhakunda is very rarely attained, even by great personalities fully engaged in devotional service, not to speak of ordinary devotees who are, who are only engaged in the practice of Vaidya Bhakti. It is stated that a devotee will at once develop pure love of Krishna in the wake of the gopis if he once takes a bath in Radhakunda. Rupa Goswami recommends that even if one cannot live permanently on the banks of Radhakunda, he should at least take a bath in the lake as many times as possible. This is the most important item in the execution of devotional service. Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakura writes in this connection that Sri Radhakunda is the most select place for those interested in advancing their devotional service in the wake of lady friends, sakhis, and confidential serving maids, manjaris of Srimati Radharani, living entities who are eager to return home to the transcendental kingdom of God, Golok Vrindavan, by means of attaining their spiritual bodies, Siddha Deha, should live at Radhakunda, take shelter of confidential serving maids of Sri Radha, and under their direction engage constantly in her service. This is the most exalted method for those engaged in devotional service under the protection of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this connection, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes that even great sages and great devotees like Narada and Sanaka do not get an opportunity to come to Radhakunda to take their baths. What then to speak of ordinary devotees? If by great fortune one gets an opportunity to come to Radhakunda and bath even once, he can develop his transcendental love for Krishna exactly as the gopis did. It is also recommended that one should live on the banks of Radhakunda and should be absorbed in the loving services of the Lord. One should bathe there regularly and give up all material conceptions, taking shelter of Sri Radha and her assistant gopis. If one is thus constantly engaged during his lifetime after giving up the body, he will return back to Godhead to serve Sri Radha in the same way as he contemplated during his life on the banks of Radhakunda. The conclusion is that to live on the banks of Radhakunda and to bathe there daily constitute the highest perfection of devotional service. It is a difficult position to attain, even for the great sages and devotees like Narada. Thus, there is no limit to the glory of Sri Radhakunda. By serving Radhakunda, one can get an opportunity to become an assistant of Srimati Radharani under the eternal guidance of the gopis.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. This is a picture of Radhakund. This is an old picture. Now, if you go, the banks are very cleaned. This is the highest stage, Prem Bhakti. We cannot just contemplate. Goloka Vrindavan, there is a hierarchy of devotees, right? We read yesterday, Shantaras, Rasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So if somebody wants to get established in Madhurya Ras to Krishna, the highest conjugal love for Krishna, then this is the process to serve Radharani. So Radharani can bestow that devotee. And how to serve Radharani? Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada has said, serve Radhakund. And even once if we go and take bath in Radhakund, they are guaranteeing, the acharyas are guaranteeing that our path to Krishna consciousness opens up so much. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt the revealed scriptures. Sanchaya Atma Vinashyati. Sanchaya Atma Vinashyati. The Atma which is full of doubts gets destroyed. So don't doubt okay, only just by touching a water. We are touching water every day. We are touching water in the kitchen. We are touching water, drinking water, showering. So many things are happening. So what is the difference between this water and that water? That is a material vision of a dham. This verse actually prepares us how to go to Radhakund, how to go to Vrindavan. When we go to Radhakund, we should have this. We can chant these 3 prayers to Radhakund when we sit there. So I hope you all get an opportunity to go and take shelter of Radharani. Okay, so let's do the overview.